YouTube, welcome to the top 8 grand finale and top deck list of the Meta Weekly every single week on twitch.tv/Decade on Sundays. Now, what do we have here? We have Heroes, which may be the best rogue deck against the Cool Toon meta, as we could very easily set up a Floodgate and win, right? Floodgate with the Dark Law, all their cards will be banished instead. Now, the problem is we're going to have to first face off against the K9 Vanquish Soul deck. Now, Vanquish Soul K9 can play Dimension Shifter themselves, thus they do have plays with the graveyard. They're just not heavily reliant on the graveyard as much as a deck like Cool Toon. So let's find out if Heroes can defeat Vanquish Soul to then face off against Cool Toon, because I really want to see that be played. I watch as long as you can. They greatly supports the events, even if you have me on in the background. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Now, can Heroes play through an Azuna Lupus and a Ghost Spell? Let's find out. Shuffle back in the deck, summon our Stratos. Stratos searching for the Furnace. Oop, you just turned on the Azuna. Grab the Polymerization. It's something you do have to account for. You really want to think about it. Delicious sum for the deck. But the bigger question is, when do we use the Azuna? Do we suck this up before it activates? Well, it's a trigger effect, so we can't. We're going to pass on that. Polymerization into the Flame Wingman. Do we suck this up before it activates? It triggers on summon. If everything's triggering, if everything's a quick effect, then we don't have this opportunity to summon Nash Knight to get sucking. All right, let's grab a favorite contact. But it does have an ignition effect, which would be the ability to summon the Sunrise and search for a Miracle Fusion. We are activating Azuna now, thus we're possibly going to go in that play. If we choose to max C, we don't draw 1, not 2, but we draw 3 if they fully commit to the play of sucking up our Wingman. Uh-oh, what's Kraken gonna do? This is totally not cool. Being able to max C when you have cards in the field, sick. Send Lupus, oh my gosh, he's doing it. A draw 3 just to stop him from going into Sunrise. What if he just draws a Miracle Fusion? He did not. Okay, sucky suck. Yoink, no miracle for you. We're gonna reinforce our hand with the Fountain. Let's now E-call into a Stratos. We still have the Bell. Bell stops Miracle Fusion. So you would think that maybe we really don't have to give them 3 cards to stop them from searching a card that we could stop, but then they could reset back in the field with the Link 2 after we Bell the first effect. So that's another thing you'd want to consider. So -1 Omni Negate, but we still have Dark Law, Droplet, Favorite Contact, which can negate or non-target pop. Let's find out what we do. Now, Roy's attempting to summon for the deck as we just negate. No summon for you. Look how tiny we are. 200 attack from what? What's our original attack? We are originally 22. We're being dropped by 2,100 across the board because of the DPE per hero in the graveyard. Wonder Driver trigger to set up Miracle Fusion for the next turn. Furnace is simply just going to Reborn. How do we take out Dark Law if we're being so immensely reduced? We have Jokel reveal Azuna, special summon, and we're just going to non-target pop. Before the Jokel activates to search the deck, come forth, Wingman. Non-target per monster attribute. We have 3 different attributes. Thanks to Furnace being a fire. Fire, Dark, Light, pop, pop, pop. 14,000 damage. Finish him. And it is important to note the Dark Law is a one-way banish. Only your cards are banished, not my own. Thus a card like Droplet, I could still use it, but you can't. Droplet is not activatable. Now, there is a weakness to this field. The weakness is they have no Omni Negates, but you would need a better board breaker than the Droplet to deal with that. The Illusion Gates maybe could be something. Book of Eclipse could be really good if they didn't have Ash, though. Furnace negated from searching for a poly or a mass change. And we now have the Stratos getting negated but not destroyed. We randomly lose a card from our hand. We're going to send 2 to negate you. Thus, I will not discard. I will search for a card. Negate on the Holly Sue. No take control from you. Grab a Crow. Crow could banish a hero to summon. Ejector could dump the Dolphin to special summon. Ash negates the ability to summon a Stratos from the deck, which would be grabbing the shuffle to then do so. Now, you got to be thinking if heroes could go into an Exciton Knight. Well, even though we negated the Furnace says you cannot summon from the X deck the turn you activate this effect, which I really thought that this was a relic from the past on older cards where they would enforce the restriction only even if the card were to get negated. So the effect got negated and we're still under a freaking summon restriction, so we can't even summon an Exciton. The newer cards generally put the summon restriction as part of the effect, so when the effect gets negated, I could still now go into whatever I want. Crow, banish to special summon, as the werewolf will now banish it from the hand. Yep, okay. And we still have non-target wipe away the fields. We also have non-target pop a monster on the fields. Let's get to it. Let's do it. Add from the grave to non-target pop. Let's wipe you out. Onto the ejector. As a malicious would just summon another one. There's a temporary banish. Now conclude this duel. Yoink. Give me that malicious. 11K. Damn. All right. Exciton is with a 3 when you grab and shuffle. So ejector makes Exciton. It does. Grab shuffle, summon Stratos, pop a back row, search a card, Exciton, wham bam, thank you ma'am. Full loss. In case you want to Nash Knight us. All right. Even Holly Sue summon a Raisin from the deck is another reason to full loss. Okay. So the favorite contact is not going to be non-target popping. We're going to have the Dark Law from Mass Change. Everything gets banished. We're going to non-target pop with the DPE. We're going to use Ash. We're going to negate anything on the field, negate anything on the field. 5 disruption. It would be 6, but we do have that bell pinning down the favorite contact. Come forward Dark Law. You also have the benefit of it's an Earth attribute. Maybe you'd want to use it for something else. Reset the miracle for next turn. Naroi, with 2 cards in hand, I get to normal summon. Summon the Jokel, non-target pop the Jokel before it activates a search. Case for Canine, grab another Jokel. Dark Law randomly banish, and we could have lost our bell just now. Oh my goodness. And now we whip out the bell. We waited. And was it worth it? What do you think? Negate the favorite contact. A lot of you have to think about this. Sometimes you don't negate anything on their turn 1, you just save it for their end board piece instead. That's a mindset with, let's say, impermanence. It feels bad when they play through imperm when you could have just imperm the card they ended up with, right? We have Contrast Hero, negate the Call by the Grave, trying to finger my Ash. Not today. Now, let's see. We still have the other negate on the Contrast, right? I forget if we activated it. Ripper, no, he did not. So negate, non-target pop, the Dark Law, and we used Ash. We're done. We're done. We're done. There's nothing else we could do. We used up everything. Canine Werewolf is here on summon, pop a card in the field, taking out the DPE. DPE will come back next turn. Attack number 1, we have another attack. Attack number 2. What? Lethal? We lost because of this. Pay half your life points. No way. Holding on to Bell won the duel. Bell onto favorite contact because of the Chaos Mass Change monsters could not negate the card of Bell being in the grave. Damn. Ua in our standby. Uh-oh, Dimension Shifter. If we can't get cards in the grave, how do we win? RS definitively cannot negate anything. It has no tuner engrave to negate. You can't trigger Maker engrave to bounce. So we lose a negate, can't bounce, can't pop with mix, and we can't Loudness War, copy a card engrave. So I talk about Cool Tune being about the big five. Of the big five, 4 of the big 5 cannot do anything. And look at that. The Zalin is the 1 of 5 main disruptions, the only one that's still usable. That's it. You turn off the 4 other main disruptions, and now they're just on Zalin. Zalin negate. They can't do anything else. Literally just Zalin. And does this have to go to the graveyard? I don't think so. Special summon. Nope. We could still use the Moonlit Chill. So Moonlit Chill and Zalin. Naroi on summon. This is to negate and destroy the Naroi. Well, if your card is Chainlink 1 and there's a Zalin, all you have to do is chain to their card, trying to then use Zalin to negate your card. You now Chainlink block the Zalin. Zalin cannot negate Naroi now. Got him. Essentially, Chainlink blocking a mandate. How can you screw this up? Don't activate your important card on Chainlink 2. If your important card is on Chainlink 2 and there's a Zalin on the field, you now can't Chainlink block it. You're going to get negated and destroyed. And that's it. The big 5, the 1 of the 5 was the Zalin. We used it. So now from 5 to 0. The big 0. Do we count the Crackle's not part of the big 5, but we banish a card from the extra deck temporarily. All right. They get to cope on that. There you go. I guess the best use of Crackle. Raisin will destroy the column. We have the Moonlit Chill to negate Ripper, negate the negate. Shifter for an easy win. That's all I got to do. Crackle's other ability to banish from the extra deck is contingent on being sent to the grave. Where are we being sent? To the Shadow Realm. To the next dimension we go. There we go. And you can think of all the different ways that Vanquish Soul Canine cares about the graveyard. They add back with the Vanquish Soul Link 1. They reborn with the Lantern. Still, Shifter impacts the opponent more than us. You want to use it. Easy, instant win thanks to Shifter. Lethal damage. Just draw your 1 of. It's not that hard. Rico, Ash, negate the Rico, and I already have Rotary in my hand, you fool! Let's go! Got him. Outplayed. Tekken should just surrender. I don't want him to surrender, but I would surrender. I'm gonna look at your hand, I'm gonna search for 2 cards. Now I could just perfectly play around your hand, and within our turn 1, we're not done because we don't know the top card of your deck, and we do want to know the top card. So it's not enough to play around this. Let's also play around your newly drawn card, which will happen right now. You have to have the top 2 cards of your deck be so good that we have to banish and put the other on the bottom, and only then will there be an unknown card that we have to play around. We kept the Raisin on top because you already have a Raisin in hand. Got him. Lupus is here to go into a Typhon. We could Lupus in the end phase. We don't have to play into the RS. All right. Let's go. Now, let's think about this. Our Typhon is untargetable. The highest value on the Typhon, I'm not saying we're supposed to go for this, but if we want to get max value, we find out how to turn Typhon into a Zeus, because that gets rid of the whole field, right? if that's a possibility. It being untargetable could help us with that. The mix targets, the RS targets. The problem is the maker does not target. When sent to the graveyard for synchro material, you're going to non-target bounce the Typhon back. So because of that, our chances of being able to Zeus with this is not likely if we understand that and play around that. Let's see what happens. Raisin in the same column as the RS. We're going to Veiler, negate the Raisin. Well, Veiler usually isn't good on Raisin when they could Borger or Caesar return it to the hand, but we saw their hands. We know that that's not even a possibility. RS is pinned down by the Typhon, and what the heck just happened? We just lost our Remix. The Remix is supposed to be able to use its effect, but it gained 1500 because he has a tuner in the grave. Typhon is the counter. It just is. We did not account for Typhon turning off Remix and Typhon turning off RS. Neither card were activatable to Reborn from the grave, add from the grave, perform a synchro. We have Cool Tune Synchro though, which could synchro with the RS. At your locals, even at a YCS, probably even in the grand finale, yes. This could synchro with the RS, but not here. RS does not have the ability to synchro with the hand. To synchro with the hand, we needed the Remix to summon something from the grave that could synchro with the hand. So what the heck could we even do with this? We could add a Clip and then summon Clip, and what is Clip gonna do? Clip and Ghost Spell is a crackle. A crapple, it's crap. You could turn the RS and a Clip into a Zalin. What is that gonna freaking do? That's also gonna be garbage. This straight up just won. I could not believe this. All because Ash is in the grave to make the Remix 3000. Oh my gosh. How could we have played around this? We had to not make Remix. I think that really crushed. There's the crapple. We're gonna randomly banish one, then banish the other with precision. Randomly perma banished Little Knight. We chose to banish Ripper. Is there another Ripper anyway? We are on one Rip. Do Vanquish All Canine players need to up their Rip? Double Rip time? What do you think? Nash Knight. This is shocking. We had what I've been saying all day, the 100% win rate play. And we lost to something so unexpected. Lupus and a Typhon. Insane. Actually insane. I'm really shocked. I do want to pinpoint what we should have done instead, obviously. I think if Hipster were to rewind time, I think we could have still won this. We just don't make Remix. We had to identify that what if they make Typhon, then I can't activate Remix. That's it. Just not activating this and we would have won. It's that simple. Not summoning. If we don't summon Remix, we won this. What the heck is that? I've never seen this. If you have a tuner in your field or graveyard, add a Synchros. Is this intended? What? Where did this card come from? How old is this? This is adding the Synchro Quick Play? Or Synchro Overtake? What the heck? What is that card called? Duelist Genesis? I'm gonna look at it after this. Nick, it is a new card. It's not, there's no way it's new. Is it new? That's brand new. It's not old. Holy crap. We're back in this duel. That was quite random. What the heck? That's insane. Rico pop the back row. We have Q look at the top of the deck. Non-target pop a card on the field. Now, the Loudness War is protecting our other cards from being destroyed. You cannot pop except the Loudness. Now, because of that, shouldn't we have activated the Loudness in response to the forced release? But we can't because the Typhon is still messing us up. Loudness wasn't activated because of Typhon and because the field spell was making it 3,000 plus. So all of these secondary effects are putting us in the Typhon zone. Typhon makes it only so the field spell turns off Loudness War. The tuner in your graveyard turns off our remix. Too many tuners in the grave turns off our RS. Typhon is just the way. What the heck? Umbral gets self-destructed through the Chaos Nash Knight effect. If you didn't know that, at the end of the opponent's turn, it blows up. We're going to add a Q and then go into back-to-back in the TCG only. This does not work here. Lethal damage. All right. Well done. Begin. Recon summon, Bell, negate right away, mate. We also have impermanence we're holding on to. Oh boy, Rotary with the additional summon. I mean, we already know with Rotary in the hand, we are in big freaking trouble. We're not gonna even imperm the mix, and now they get to look at our hand. Search for any cool tune card, as we also search for a cool tune spell or trap. Now, the cool tune trap people are not playing. No one's on that nonsense. As we see your hand, let's now perfectly play around this. Grab our cool tune sinker. We're not going for the field spell. Mind you, we held on to the overtake. Overtake could still summon from the deck, or overtake could add to the hand. So with this situation where he had a Fua loss, if you initiate with an overtake, the activate Fua loss, then you're gonna not really want to make a Q play, and you're gonna have to at least give them 2 draws because you're summoning for the deck, and then you're making a maker. Instead, if you just go into another play and they Fua loss you, you could then use the overtake to just add a clip to your hand and pass. That's why it could be beneficial to wait with the overtake. Summon the Rico. Let's further make a remix. 3,000, so if we had the Typhon, as we saw earlier, it wouldn't even be activatable. And now we're dealing with the big 5 plus a Veiler. Pop, bounce, negate, negate, and then pop or bounce. Before any of that, we just have Veiler. We Veil before the big 5. Let's go. And I think if y'all just memorize the big 5 and exactly how they work, it's gonna help you play against Cool Tune. You're gonna be understanding how they're going into the big 5, how each big 5 works, which big 5 targets, what non-targets, what requires a card in the field, what could be chain link blocked. Rotary reveal the Q, come to me. It can be a good idea to not reveal that you have Rotary. Just normal summon the Q, and then they're gonna be more likely to want to waste a disruption, because I would not Bell a Q if I know you already have Rotary. But if I think you don't have Rotary, if I'm unsure and you normal summon Q without activating Rotary, I'm now potentially gonna waste a hand trap. So, you know, it feels like you're losing out on the additional summon potentially, but also you're baiting the opponent to incorrectly use their hand traps before you inevitably look at their hand and then mess them up anyway. We are adding, and we could reasonably suspect that they didn't have an Ash anyway. We didn't chain link block this, but there were other effects that were good enough to use the Ash on. We kept their Rico on the top of the deck. Zalin is here. Come forth, RS. And so what is this? It's the big 5 disruptions plus a Bell and Veiler. That's gonna be 7 disrupt. So let's see. Mix on summon clip. This is where we could chain link block the clip, which would prevent the Zalin from being able to negate. This is not a chain link block. We're also having the RS negate. So of the big 5, we just used 2, both of the negates. So the rest of the big 5 are pop, bounce, and then pop or bounce. That's all we have left, in addition to the Bell and the Veiler. So I'm separating the disruptions here. Bell. Negate. Now, you want to be careful about using Bell on overtake, because you could only activate 1 overtake per turn, and if you Bell it and they have a second or third copy, they can now activate it. Now, taking that into consideration, you could still use Bell on this and it could still be great. And then also, you're looking at their hand, you know the top card of their deck in most cases, so it's not even a random choice. You know exactly what they have. 1 and 1. Yeah, I actually misled. I said Retaliating Sea was good against the deck because I played the deck and someone Retaliating Sea'd me and it shut me down. It did. Even though Retaliating Sea will shut down the deck, it doesn't do so reliably. It doesn't. It's not like Draco Tail where it will reliably shut it down because we're not searching and playing the card that allows you to chain Retaliating Sea to it. If I don't open up Overtake, even though the Quick Play Synchro also could be Retaliating Seed, by the time you Retaliating Sea, you're probably Retaliating Sea on after an entire completed turn 1. They now see you have Retaliating Sea, or they know you're going to draw on a Retaliating Sea. They already have the graveyard filled. They're probably going to have an out to it where you end up, let's say, using it in the main phase, and then I could just use my RS with tuners already in the graveyard to negate it, all right? It's too random. It's only if they hard open up Synchro Overtake and you Retal Seed, so don't use it. And I wasn't trying to say that we should definitely use it, just that it does counter it in the same aspect that Draco Tail and Cool Tune require the graveyard to make their plays. So shifter. All right, let's go. So it's good, but it's also not good, if that makes sense. The Retal Sea. Veiler, now we play around it. Or we Ash Negate. So this is where the rare instance of you could chain Retal Sea to this and it would have been great. Sure. I just don't think it's going to be reliable enough to be great, but maybe I could be proven wrong and some people will be like, well, I actually like Retaliating Sea. We are just going to hard synchro. Remember, if the card is negated by Imperm or Veiler, they could still synchro with the hand. Attempt to search. Negate. We're going to be further synchroing into the Zalin. Q's going to look at the top 2 cards of the deck, allowing you to keep the Droll. The Ogre's going to help us negate. Ogre's great. So we have to chain Max C to this. I know it's weird, but if you don't chain Max C, the Zalin will negate and destroy the Rico. Do you all fully understand that? How that works, why that works, why this is a play? And not only it is a play, I would say it's the correct play. We didn't do it. We didn't do it. What do you mean still isn't good? Why is it not good? Why is it not good? How else is Zalin going to negate something else if you make sure the rest of your effects are chain link 1 and they can't chain link to you? Right? What can I want to know? I mean, what could he do? I'm not trying to be combative with you. I just want to know, like, what are the options here? If we activate a mix, it's chain link 1, can't negate. We activate a Q, it's chain link 1, can't negate. We activate the field spell, it's chain link 1, can't, like, you just can't do, Zalin can't do anything if you just chained Max C. All right, we're going to be adding Max C. No, thank you. Summon back-to-back for game, right? People will try this. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. I don't know. I feel like people are trying to, even in Master Duel, they keep trying to summon it. They keep trying. All right. It could just be in my head. All right, set pass. Now, B to B. Finish him. Let's go. Synchro, overtake, Ash, negate. We just gotta hope that it's enough. But remember, Lupus won the last match against Cool Tune single-handedly. 1 card tanked the entire game. turned off Remix because we had Ash in the Grave to boost up their Remix to 3,000. Bro. After that Typhon game, and you have Lupus in hand, you could still win. Cool Tune players, or at least until they experience it, they're not going to see the play. They're not going to know the line. Gamma negates. We have Ash. Now, ashing Gamma stops it for only that chain. Gamma is now activatable again. You just can't do anything else. You activate, you breathe, Gamma's gonna activate again, thus we summoned a rock and didn't activate. We have to wait for them to commit a body to the field, and then we could go back to activating. Now it's safe to activate. Add from the graveyard back to the hand. Q on summon is summoning from the deck. We got Rico on summon, searching for a rotary. Hit him with the droll, just like that. Now we are going to be chaining the Cool Tune Synchro. I understand on turn 2, it's not going to be ideal to optimally play around a drone Lockbird. You're going to have to try to make the most of your disruptions. It just sucks that you also get drolled while trying to do that. Call of the Grave, finger the Rico. No destroy for you. And that Rico and Grave, if you are going to use it to make other plays, now gone from the duel. Let's further synchro from the hand, going into our Remix. Boosted up Remix, 3,000 attack. Now, I think something a lot of people do is they summon Remix in defense, even though it could be 3,000 attack, because they think, what if it gets negated? It's pretty much a non-negatable card. It jumps. When you're going to negate, it's going to be off the field by cost quick effect to reborn cards. So in most cases, it's safe to just keep an attack. Back-to-back, double attack, lethal damage mate. What do you think is lethal damage alongside a back-to-back? Minimal lethal. 800 attack. A little 800 clip. The little clip. Where's clip? Is clip in the hand here? Little baby clip is at 800 attack. Alongside the back-to-back is a perfect 8,000 damage because you got 16 on the clip and then 64 with the back-to-back. That's a 2-0. Oh my gosh. Okay, damn. I think Gamma won this. What do y'all think? He couldn't even attempt to make other plays because of the freaking Gamma. He was afraid. Begin. Overtake, Ash, negate, and then we have Bell for Q. Who's not on Bell in the chat? Ban them. Negate. Now, would he Bell if he revealed the rotary? No. And then he would save the Bell for a Remix, and then you would have your play to get messed up by Remix, right? So if you keep the rotary in hand and don't reveal it, you now outplayed the Bell, and you get to play right through it. So I'm just trying to make a case for, hopefully many of you agree with me. If not, you're wrong, to not additionally summon Q with rotary. Don't let them know. Let them misplay. We got Max C, which can potentially reverse our horrible position here, but they actually have Ash, so that's not the case. Max C, Ash negate. Oh my Jesus. How did we beat Cool Tune going first? Ash and Bell. Ash and Bell. And we just use it on the very first effects where it were activatable against to then win the duel. Overtake negate, which you could Bell or Ash. If you Bell it, they could activate another copy of Overtake, so you want to be careful of that. And then Bell on the Q. Just like that. Well done. All right. We just have Bell. And we don't have rotary. What the hell? So what we have here is a Remix pass. Remix. They don't have Bell to stop the Remix. Did not draw into one. Rico on summon. Bell negate the Rico. Did not reveal that he's playing rotary. See the difference between scenarios? Revealing rotary, holding on to rotary, keeping it a secret. Now we're going to be going into a Rico mix to pop with the mix and be able to negate with the RS. Now this is where things get interesting. The RS is going to boost up their field by +1. It could be a downside. It could also be an upside. This could very easily lead to a much easier to summon back-to-back where normally you would not be able to summon this. Get poppin', rotary, randomly out of nowhere. Additionally summon the clip. And now we are going to summon our own clip into Did RS not negate something? Wow. Okay. Right into Zalin, not using the RS negate and not... The level modulative clip would be level 3, and plus the Veiler could then make a Maker. Is that their only back-to-back? Because that's a big deal, if the case. Yes, it is. Their only back-to-back is now banished. Overtake. Summon from the deck. I don't know what we accomplished with Zalin, right? Zalin now is just chilling, but I guess they're chilling also. Okay. Now, if you're wondering why not make a Maker, that would also be cheating. You can only use one card in the hand. Just one. So 2 + 1. And, the RS was we knew the clip would be used with the rotary to make the Maker. So it wasn't about the Zalin. It was the RS enabling a Maker that they otherwise could not make. Uh-oh. Didn't even activate. Just go straight into the Maker playmate. And the Q is going to make the Maker out of reach from being destroyed, because this does not just negate, it also destroys. So this very small detail of ensuring the card on field is on chain link 1 among the 3 chains. Wait, what? Okay, we negated the rotary. I was thinking like, okay, yeah, we search for the Maker. Loudness War is here, then end. In response to anything, the Loudness War will bounce or destroy. Oh boy. Now it's only 3,300 with the field spell. No fields. No attack. What is going on? Gamma and rotary is not a play. Gamma and clip could make the level 4 synchro. Oh no. Overtake into Gamma negate, yes? Gamma gets negated by Bell. What the hail? Oh my Jesus. We're gonna use the loudness though. Look at the hand and add. You have to remember that it's more than just a disruption, it's also follow-up or more plays. So even with you disrupting this, it's not a big deal because now I could just add a clip and then summon it. That's it. And now we're 3,300. Come to me, clip. What the clip? Additional summon. Insane. And yes, your eyes do not deceive you. This was not synchro summoned. It triggers on special summon from the grave with the Q. I would say in a priority chart of what to summon with Q, the #1 priority is, has Maker not triggered yet this turn? It's search, and is it in the grave? If that's the case, then summon that. Holy crap. So good. That's the #1 card to summon among the conditions I gave it. 2-0. Let's go. The top 4? Cool Tune versus Cool Tune? And then Vanquish Soul Canine versus Vanquish Soul Canine? To then all come down to an epic grand finale of Vanquish Soul Canine versus Cool Tune? Let's freaking go. Begin. To activate the Stake Your Soul. Now, I should mention, and I should have better emphasized, that the Loudness War also gave destruction protection on top of the other card getting gammaed, because normally the card would get destroyed, obviously. So additionally, just Loudness War is great. Let's Fool Lost Mate in response to the Stake Your Soul, something for the deck. Need our Azuna to get turned on. The Holly Sue is not summonable here. We need a Vanquish Soul. Add to our hand. As the Vanquish Soul starts, going to be setting not only setting up the trap in the end phase, but searching for our Holly Sue. As we now case for Canine, grab our Jokel. He's edging us. Just, can you turn on my Azuna? Come on. Add from the grave. Yes! Azuna is now on. We could summon Azuna, dump Lupus Reborn. Let's go. The problem with that is if you're going to turn on Azuna, make sure your Holly Sue can take control, which she can. We do have a Darken and Earth to yoink before they could rank 5 Xyz. Summon the Lupus. And we're just going to the end phase. All right, yeah, I played a game of chicken here. If I activate, you take. If you take, I activate. But if you preempt the take and then they chain activate, you then take the card, and then if you have a way to link it off in main phase 1, wouldn't that be the play? Right? I'm a bit confused on this scenario here on how this happened. Okay. Right away into the Jax, untargetable Jax. Jax on summons going to be going right for the Rock of the Vanquisher. Straight to the battle phase, as I think we are gunning for a Zeus play. Takes control within the battle phase. We're now in main phase 2, unfortunately. Special summon the Holly Sue. We have the Jiaolong being triggered off of the reveal to even summon the Holly Sue. And now our own Azuna. Azuna, Reborn Lupus. It's like a lot of things we're passing on. We didn't use Rock of the Vanquisher. I guess there was nothing to add anyway, or we didn't chain special summon. We're not fingering Lupus. We don't want to finger Lupus. What do we want to finger? What are we fingering? I guess we have 3 level 5s. You take one, so what? I'll rank 5 with the other 2. Not a big deal. You already Nash Knighted. Now I'm gonna Nash Knight. Let's get Nashing. Yoink into our Chaos Nash Knight. This is some good finger discipline. Predicting that we would be okay with allowing their play. Thus, we just hold the finger for something else. We're not even setting the finger. We're gonna keep that finger tucked away in our hand. Okay. You have negate a monster, non-target pop with the force release, and then banish from their hand, and then Azuna with the Lupus. It's about 4 disruptions with this. Negate and discard. Why? Well, so if we want to try to make a reason why, it could be the Lupus. If he wants to reborn the if we set the finger, he reborns Lupus. Otherwise, we want to finger the Lupus. So we finger it preemptively, it reborns. So I should have taken note of that. Razor in the same column with the Jax. We are now revealing, forcing out the force release. Change the column. Non-target pop. Pop in response to the force release. Let's freaking go. And I think I gaslit myself. He already lupused, and so he couldn't even do that. So yeah, what is the real reason why we didn't finger? Why didn't he? What the heck? Sometimes I try to make sense of stuff, and yeah, I don't know. Why didn't we finger? Joker reveal? Because of Azuna? Why didn't we set finger? I honestly don't know, because he already lupused. So there wasn't this scenario of the lupus and the finger playing a mind game. Boosting up, 12,000 damage. Finish him. Let's go. Couldn't finger, couldn't set his finger. Okay. Let's begin. I know why he didn't set finger. Because he gave up. He gave up. He just gave up. But, you know, sometimes players, they identified they have already lost the duel and they don't surrender. They just let them play it out. Tons of disruption. Pop, hand trap, negate, non-target pop, pop again or banish, take control. Let's negate, then discard a card from the hand mate. Let's also non-target pop. On top of that, negate. Oh my Jesus. Unstoppable. Jokel is a brick. Already used up our normal summon. What do? I played against Vanquish Soul Canine recently. My Q randomly banished the Caesar off the top of their deck. I was so freaking happy. I bet they were pissed. Let's go. Game 3. Ooh, Vanquish Soul could not beat K9 without Shifter in one of the 3 duels, right? That has to steal a duel in the grand finale for them to have a chance. Otherwise, it's Cool Tune just straight up wins. It's got to be what happens. All right, off the top of the deck, reinforcing the army, Raisin in the column of the Ripper. We're going to Little Knight chain banish. We can't chain Raisin to destroy the column within the same chain. No Borger, no Caesar to return the Raisin back to the hand as we now grab a Borger. Let's reinforce our hand after already committing to our normal summon. It's just for the attribute. We got a fire in the hand now. With our fire, let's reveal that fire as we're going to immediately take control. What? You take control, then I take control? Huh? Yoink. Okay, we traded Holly Sue's. Rock of the Vanquisher is here. Nash Knight's going to non-target suck you. As we follow up with the case for K9. Lantern needs a K9 in graveyard, which we have the Azuna. Ripper negate. That's one of the best negates. Straight up, mate. Oh my geez, Lantern does so much. What a great one. Lupus Reborn. Hit him with the Max C. Maybe the Lantern was just protecting the C. Reborn out. And, I mean, do we want to give them another draw? We could do that. We, 2 more draws even. We're going to go into the Werewolf, non-target pop away the Azuna. And then we could still go into a Jax. Didn't give us a reason to do so. Even though we're still under Max C, we're just going to, within the end phase, give them that additional draw. But we messed up because we didn't wait for the Raisin to be returned back on the field, mate. Wolf is banishing. Werewolf, get out of here. Wipe away the Werewolf. Now add back. Discard 2 in the end. 8 cards in hand. Nash Knight with the non-target suck. Mate, what are you going to do? Chain Borger and then the Borger gets sucked up? Can't do it in the draw phase, as we're now going to case for K9, the Azuna, Holly Sue. Now turning on the case for K9, boosting up the field across the board, triggering the Jax to pop the Holly Sue, as we summon from the deck what exactly? The Jax is it is a targeting disruption, so we're going to return back the Holly Sue, dodging the destroy, and summon the Caesar Valius. 12,000 damage on the field. We're going to non-target pop. Pop away. The case for K9 attack boost. Ooh, that's a good one. No replay. The monsters on the field did not change. What the heck? Well, an Xyz just battled. Thus we get to make a Zeus. 4 material Zeus. Draw 1. Don't mind if I do. I could not believe Kraken could not have ended the duel. Why didn't we chain Little Knight to the Caesar? I guess that was the problem, right? Little Knight chain banished the Caesar when it was activating to get poppin'. Wipe away the 4 material double board wipe Zeus. How is Tekken stealing this duel? Didn't Kraken definitively win this? I'm pretty sure in my brain I was like, okay, Kraken won, let's move on. What? Insane. That was a really good comeback. Wow. There can only be one winner, and you're looking at him. Grand finale is here. Going second, we have Bell. Now, you want to play Bell if all your opponents are playing Cool Tune. But how good is Bell going to be against other decks like Vanquish Soul Canine? That's where this messes things up. This is where we look at the OCG decks and we see that Bell is in the side deck. But with no side deck, you're going to have to take that risk. Jokal reveal, summon. We're going to search for Naroi. Additional summon. Come forth from the deck. And now we make the Ripper. So obviously the Bell is going to do nothing. It's trash. Lupus rank 5 Xyz, Holisu take control, non-target pop, pop or banish, wipe away the whole field, Ash, and Droll. That's 7 disruption. We could also Mad Love return a monster back. Possibly. So maybe around 8 disruptions. So it's important to note when playing against Cool Tune and it's their own turn, to get bodies on the field, Rotary was created because they struggled to get bodies in the field. The field spell allows them to additional summon, but it's a one of, and they need to make plays to even gain access to it. So one of their core ways to additional summon, don't expect it. Otherwise, they have a normal summon, a Rotary, and then they have to also hard summon the freaking hard draw, the overtake. So you normally shouldn't expect a field spell or an overtake. Thus, they only have 2 summons from the hand, and then they have the quick play synchro, which I think you should expect to interact with one of those cards on the field, which doesn't give you an additional body from the deck or hand, but just interacts with those. And then if the Q goes through, it gets to summon a body from the deck. So what I'm trying to get at is it could be quite easy to just stop them in their tracks. And a very good reason for why we don't want the Ripper to negate Rotary, because that's one of our 2 main ways to get a body on the field outside the Q summoning from the deck. So we just lost summon from the deck. We just used Rotary to additional summon. We're left with just a normal summon. So if we deal with the extra summon and then the regular normal summon, should probably win. And you would think this will be confirmation that they don't have the quick play. If they're not chaining the quick play here to synchro with the Q being targeted, they're done. Rico, grab the clip. Clip cannot special summon on your own turn. It's for these duels where I feel like I wish maybe it should be summonable. But do we really need the deck to be more broken than it is? Only during the opponent's turn, we could summon the clip. Just finish him. Clip is here. Synchro and resolution into a crackle. Crackle, top tier. We're going to be able to crackle 3 cards out of their extra deck. Let's freaking go. We randomly banish, with precision, we banish the Nash Knight. We then trigger the Crackle to try to reborn and then banish again, but he is going to be messing us up. Yeah. All right, thanks a lot, Werewolf. What did the clip banish? Clip banished what? Oh, I can't freaking see it. Clip, clip, clip. Clip got the Little Knight. We targeted the Nash Knight, and then Crackle would banish 2 more, but the Werewolf messed it up. Is this a GG next game? Well, Tekken is gonna be chilling. Let's look at their hand. Hey, nice hand. Call by the Grave is now going to have to be played around. If we make a remix, it's gonna get fingered. Thus, we need a Zalin to protect the remix. We need an RS, which would have to also protect the remix. Or just don't make remix. Let's additional summon into the queue, summon for the deck, remix, not remix, but regular mix, gonna be adding as we now make the Zalin. Q with precision is gonna know that you have an Azuna. Sometimes it's straight up best, and it can be very difficult for a Cool Tune player to allow them to draw into a very good card and not banish it. And the main reason for that is because you now see it coming. Instead of them randomly adding a card into the unknown, it could be much better to, with precision, know exactly their full 6-card hand. Ollie Sue, Jiao Long Trigger. Okay. Now we know Azuna's in the hand. In the draw phase, he did not want to finger. We would have been able, okay. Obviously, we would just negate it. As I said, Zalin or RS to negate the finger. That was our play differently to get this out early. Mix is going to be popping the Jiao Long. Let's change a battle position. 2,2400 defense. Now, we have raised in the column of the RS. We're just very simply going to negate. Can we chain to destroy the column? No. And now the column destruction effect is also negated, whether we had it or not, which we did not have it. In response to the Azuna, we are going to be chaining. Now, we could have chain link blocked this if we wanted to. By seeing that they're chaining to the Azuna, it tells us the intent that they want to Zalin negate. We would have to chain the called by to just something random. Or if we had a fire in hand, we could have just activated the Raisin, even though it's negated, to be that chain link block. Typhon, very good at turning off many of their cards. Back-to-back can't activate, RS can't activate, Remix can't activate if there's a tuner in the grave, Loudness War can't activate if you have the field spell on the field. So this just seemingly in many different ways is something you should always be thinking about. Can I surprise them with a Typhon? Maker is here. Let's speed this up since we all know what's going to happen. Mix will destroy. Bell's going to negate the Rock of the Vanquisher, trying to add from the graveyard. Add to the hand. No Call of the Grave. This is Tekken. This is more than one duel. He likes to hold on to his finger. He knows. There you go. Goodbye to Caesar for good. Lethal damage, double attack with the Rico. Back-to-back lethal play. It's not about forgetting this set. It's just, I know I'm going to lose. I know it's going to do nothing. Let's just do what you got to do, finish the duel, and we'll go to the next one. Normal Naroi. Valor. Negate. All right. There goes your normal summon Raisin play. That's worked out so far. Let's follow up with a case for Canine. Ash. Negate. Okay. Does he have Azuna? Oh crap, he's got Azuna. Activate. Moonlit. Negate. We are screwed now. Ripper, Search Lantern, oh my gosh. Just Canine ate through all the hand traps. And not only ate it, but played through it. I talked about this last week. People are like, oh my gosh, Quantal deck is doing well, or this deck's doing well, that's doing well. It's Canine. Canine is in a very good spot. Canine. Mitsurugi stocks down. Canine stocks up. You could put Canine in anything. Do consider, if you want to play a rogue deck, do you have room for Canine? Your deck will immediately become better. Non-target pop. Chain the Synchro, which our Synchro summon's gonna get popped, but will at least trigger the Mix and Q and Grave. Oh my gosh. The Umbral Horror would have just negated, by the way. Wipe it. This is sad. This is very sad. And I talked earlier that a lot of Cool Tune players are not even playing Called By. This duel could be a good reason to why they're not playing it. Did not help at all. Really low impact. Add back. The deck is already very good at playing through hand traps, going first. So you could consider that this is a win more card. It's not really needed. Maybe it should just be another hand trap. what if we're playing one less clip? And we could have at least tried to, at the end of them playing through 3 of our hand traps, we could have maybe for our final play summon a clip and then maybe sync her with a mix to pop something. Damn. Just like that. Finish him. Vanquish Soul K9. I don't know if I want to say Vanquish Soul, just K9. K9 has defeated Cool Tune. Cool Tune, back to back, grand finale, but not able to finish it all. The yummy curse has been passed on to Cool Tune. Will Cool Tune be able to win a tournament? 2-1 victory. Oh, there's quite a lot of people. 151 today, what the heck? Top 16. Cool Tune at the top. We got the Sundeer Rotary up in here. Vanquish Soul K9. I was joking that Vanquish Soul K9 with my banless review of Mitsurugi and Draco Tail getting hit that they were going to have this very small period until the next pack of being the best deck. And what was interesting about that is Radiant Typhoon was actually giving them some trouble on that tug of war of who could be better. But then Cool Tune came out, and now Radiant Typhoon has disappeared. What the heck is up with that? Goodbye to Radiant. Maybe the Radiant Typhoon players are just afraid or have experienced getting whipped by the Rose Whip. The Q just special summons this from the deck. I don't think people will be landing on this, on the way to play the deck. Early on, if you got Rose Whipped, then maybe another week, or even now, it could be safe to come back with your mostly spell deck so this doesn't easily instant beat you. All right, let's see. So I was reading someone, they're like, I'm on Rose Whip because I love RS negating and MST, and then the Radiant Typhoon player scoops because they have no other play. Well, how about now there's no more freaking Radiant Typhoons in the ladder because of you? Sulfacord Yummy. Cybers is playing this. Good job. Nothing too out of the ordinary. And then Centurion Plu. Pluing it up. Got the double Blazar Dragon. Very nice of you. And then Luna Light. Maybach on the double heavy polymerization. He got Dark Law, didn't he? Yeah, Heroes of all decks just randomly clapped him up. Malice. Dr. Radiant Typhoon Malice. All right, we got the Dimension Shifter, of course. Main decking Dimensional Fissure, as we saw earlier. Just go first and activate this. If you go second and activate, obviously it's not going to be good against an already established Cool Tune stuff. They're very likely going to have a way, if not in response to activating, they could whip out an RS. Okay? Or even trigger a Rico to pop it. We have White Forest Azamina. Oh my Jesus. This is a big one. 60 card deck. Well done, Hostrachan. All fully royal raritied for you. And then we got Draco Tail. Everyone with their Draco Tail deck is waiting for the new branded support so they could come back. Rahu to 1, alongside the Lucius to 1, has proven to be quite devastating. Well done, Cam. Heroes. Ace with our 45 card deck. Here's the main deck. Nothing too crazy out of the ordinary. There is the extra. We are on Dugars. We're not playing Cross Sheep though. Okay. Very nice. We're on Trinity. Vision Hero Trinity for the win. Well done, Ace. And now, the Vanquish Soul K9 players. And then we're going to be comparing the Cool Tune players a bit differently since it's a newer deck. Shifter is going to be one of the free instant wins against Cool Tune, obviously. Good job, Sulth. And then release the Kraken. Anything out of the ordinary, nothing too crazy, just regular Vanquish Soul K9. And then number 1, Tekken. Vanquish Soul K9 for the win. Now, let's go to the top decks page to more carefully compare all of the Cool Tune Mad Lads here. SNK, starting off with you. What are you doing? Let me zoom this up a bit. SNK, let's focus Delta, 2 Delta. I think everyone should be on Duel. It's good. Delta is the only thing out of the ordinary. I'm not sure if everyone's going to be on Fool Loss. I think some people are taking Fool Loss out. All right. Marco, no Fool Loss, no Delta. He's on the Rose Whip. I'm going to do it. I wasn't going to do it, but now I'm going to do it. I'm going to put Rose Whip as an engine highlight just so you could see who's being a mad lad. Also on Manadium reframing, the trap negate anything by making the Amatera. He's got the Excel Synchro Stardust into Baron the Floor too. Okay. And then we have Hipster. Hipster is on Duelist Genesis. We're on Triple Fua. Moonlit Chill. I'm not sure everyone's going to be on that. We're on not on Ogre. No Moonlit, no Ogre. We are no Ogre, no Moonlit again. And then we have Ogre and Moonlit and Duelist Genesis and a Triple Tactics talent and Fua Loss. Okay. And then Izzle. Izzle's got a no. I do want to check it out. Pot of D. Pot of Desire. It can be scary to start your play with Pot of D because of a Droll and Lockbird. So I know a lot of people are defaulting to checking for Droll with other plays and then Pot of D'ing. But if you check for Droll on your other play or you make your core play of the Maker and Rotary, then they Droll you and you could win from there. People may be sick of being like, hey, the Pot of D is always being weighted after the Droll, and then I keep getting freaking Drolled anyway, and that's just a dead card. But it is pretty good, though, because you're playing 3 of everything. We're also on 3 Imperm. Triple Imperm. No one else. Imperm, obviously not a tuner that you can synchro with, but the same can be said about Droll. You can't synchro with the Droll. Bori. Bori is on... Is Bori... Who's on Call by the Grave? Any of them? No called by. We're on Crossout called by. No called by. No called by. And then we are on Crossout called by. With Triple Fool Loss. Okay. No Ogre, no Moonlit. Double Duelist Genesis. People are playing this over the overtuning card that came out. Another double Duelist Genesis. I really got to try that out. I was not convinced after today, I have to admit. We have Ogre, Moonlit Chill. Well done to you, the best performing Cool Tune player of today. And I want to see if any of the Vanquished players had anything to say. They did not. Let's see. Izzle. I played Cool Tune in the OCG format. You could check my gameplay in this link below. Waiting for Phadralus Harmonia next. So thank you very much. Check out Izzle if you want to see someone who is well experienced in the deck. And good job to everyone. Very happy that you all have been watching or chatting or supporting the stream in any way whatsoever. Cool Tune is currently tier 1. I do think I agree with this. Obviously, at least this being tier 1. Is Vanquisol K9 going to share tier 1 with it? That's what's going to be interesting. Are we going to maintain the Vanquisol K9 dominance of not doing as well as Cool Tune, obviously, but maybe being the second best option? Radiant Typhoon players have just quit. Draco Tail's kind of stagnant. What's going on with Yummy, though? Yummy, overall, the Yummy engine. Yummy's got a great turn 1, but a bad turn 2 against Cool Tune. So I guess it just comes down to the freaking coin flip there. All right. So there you go. Thank y'all for watching. Next stream, next tournament will be on twitch.tv/Decade on this Sunday. Let's get to it. Let's do it. I'll see you then.